12:35. We're following some breaking news just into the newsroom and the weather center here. A tornado watch is now in effect for the eastern part of our viewing area. Let's get the latest on all of this from Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Bill Kardas. He's live in the weather center. Bill, what's going on?
Well, the first thing I want to remind our viewers is that a tornado watch means that we are watching for the potential of tornadoes here later today. Basically, the environment is very unstable. We've been talking about the potential for severe weather here later today. I think our main threat is going to be wind, but it is always possible that we could get a couple of rotating storms later today. And this watch is in effect areas east of Utica, Herkimer, Hamilton, Fulton, Montgomery, and Schoharie County. So basically, it doesn't change the forecast per se, but it just means we're going to be extra vigilant this afternoon as those thunderstorms continue to develop. And of course, we'll keep you posted with the latest information throughout the newscast. I'm back over to you.
Okay, Bill.
The next storm to watch would be the one north of Syracuse, and that one already has a warning on it in Oswego County. We'll continue to watch the environment very, very closely. High levels of heat and humidity, meaning that our threat for severe weather is pretty high here for this afternoon. Strong winds and damaging hail are the things that I think we're going to get most likely. Maybe a tornado, but again, we'll keep an eye on things very closely. Good afternoon, it's 12:58. I got the latest on the weather situation this afternoon. I want to start with the radar. We have a particularly nasty storm. It's exiting the viewing area, but out near Dolgeville and into Fulton County, this storm is starting to show signs of really intensifying. So there's potentially some large hail and some strong winds with that one. That's the warning that's in effect at the present moment.
Good afternoon, everyone. We just want to get you updated on the severe situation across central New York. We have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings to pass along to you. Now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Herkimer, Hamilton, and Fulton counties until 3 p.m. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Madison County until 3:15 p.m. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning for Oneida County until 2:30 p.m. We're going to zoom in on some of these storms for you just to pass along some information. First storm we're going to zoom in is on the border of Herkimer and Hamilton counties, pushing to the north and to the east, heading towards Lake Pleasant. This storm has history of producing inch-size hail as well as some gusty winds. We'll move you to our next severe thunderstorm just north of Remsen, heading just to the east of Boonville, moving into central Herkimer County. This storm also has potential for inch-size hail as well as gusty winds. Another severe thunderstorm warning now moving into the Camden region. This is another one that has potential for some large hail. We'll put a track on this storm for you, heading to the north and to the east about 20 miles per hour. Near Boonville at 3:37 p.m., Remsen at 3:56 p.m., Barneveld at 3:57. We'll zoom you back out and show you another storm that's not in our viewing area just yet, but it's going to be heading towards Chittenango as well as Sylvan Beach, Oneida, Verona over the next hour. We'll zoom you back out just to show you the latest activity moving on. Pass along this information for we do have a tornado watch as well for parts of the viewing area, including Herkimer, Hamilton, Fulton, Montgomery counties. Severe thunderstorm watch for Otsego, Shenango, Madison, Oneida, and Lewis counties until 9 p.m. We'll have the latest updates for you all across WKTV.com, our weather blog, and on Facebook with the latest watches and warnings. We're going to continue to track these storms over the next several hours and cut in when we have any more breaking weather news.
Good afternoon, Central New York. I'm meteorologist Bill Kardas. Some breaking weather to talk to you about. We have a tornado warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service for southern Hamilton and northern Fulton County. Let's go right over to the radar. It is in the eastern part of the viewing area, but for those of you that live out towards Lake Pleasant, we do have some threatening weather heading your way. Now, at this point, it is indicated by Doppler radar alone, so we do not have any confirmation of this actually being on the ground. But if you've been following the weather all afternoon, we've been talking about the potential for strong weather, and this storm in particular has been showing at least some signs of rotation. I'm going to go over and turn the Doppler radar over to the wind mode, and it helps give us a better idea. And indeed, we can see that the radar is showing a very tight circulation across southern Hamilton County. So let's go ahead and put a storm track on this and show you where it's heading. It's going to be moving eastward, and we do expect that storm to be moving closer towards Lake Pleasant. And here are some towns, Lake Pleasant and Speculator. It's pretty much parallel to Route 8. Those of you living along Route 8 in Hamilton County, specifically Speculator and Lake Pleasant, be on the lookout for this storm. You're going to want to get inside, get into the center of a building, just in case. At this point, again, just mentioning we have this indicated by Doppler radar alone. So we'll continue to follow that situation. Many other storms that have warnings on them, that one is the most dangerous in the area. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings that continue for northern Oneida, Madison County. The worst of the weather is north of the valley at this point, but you can see a lot more weather heading in from Syracuse. But again, just to stress at this point, we are looking at a tornado warning in effect, going back to the graphics here, for southern Hamilton and northern Fulton County. And this is going to be until 2:45. Again, that storm heading towards Lake Pleasant, right along Route 8. And we'll continue to follow that situation. Many other storms across the area this afternoon. And if we do get any more indication if that indeed is actually producing a tornado, we will break in. And I'm sure you'll hear from us soon here later today, just given the situation at hand. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Welcome back, Central New York. Now, we kind of had a 1-2 punch today. We had some early morning thunderstorms, then the sun came out, and then by about the noon hour, we saw some thunderstorms begin to develop across Central New York.
I was there for the whole thing.
I know, you've been here for the morning and night.
Yes, the real event, though, happened in the afternoon time. I want to kind of recap the radar. This is actually a good lesson in severe weather about how one of the many things unfold across the area. In fact, as we look at the radar, this is a scene around 10 after 12, not much going on, one storm over in Dolgeville, but then what happened was, as that cold front swung through with all that heat and humidity out there, it formed a line. We call this a squall line, a very high likelihood with wind damage with these type of weather events, and that's what we saw. But the main event, I think, out of this was the hail. We have had many reports of hail. This one from Heather Vandenberg over in Stratford at around 2:15. And I want to show you this photo as a good example of when you take pictures of hail, it's really helpful to have an object next to it so that when we look at it, meteorologists can decide how large that hail was. A ruler would be even better, but coins would work just as well. Here's some reports of hail across the area. We had some large-size hail. Most of it was across northern Oneida County, an 1.5-inch size hail near Booneville. An 1.25-inch size hail. It's about $1/2 to golf ball size hail. And probably the most impressive report, see if I can find it here in the mix. Let's see here. Well, okay, there it is. 3.5-inch diameter hail near North Bolton in New York. That's up near Lake George. You see stuff like that in the Midwest, folks. It's very rare to get.
Turns as we head into next weekend.
So just two quick notes. First of all, we had 2 tornado warnings today. We didn't have a report in either one of those of damage. And second of all, if you were ever wondering what 3.5-inch size hail looks like, here's an example. And we don't have a name for this, a classification. We have 3 inches is a teacup size, 4 inches is grapefruit. So our determination?
It's a half moon.
There you go. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break.